We are live on Facebook and we're recording.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
6:30, I will open up the September 12th, 2023 town council meeting. All town councilors are present. Town manager Melissa Doan, fire chief Eric Gifford, and we are live streaming on Facebook as well this evening. And I will make a motion to accept the August 29th, 2023 town council minutes as presented.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded on the minutes from the last meeting. Any comments, corrections? If not, we'll vote. Jim?
Aye.
Dwayne?
Aye.
Charlie?
Aye.
Larry?
Aye.
Mark said aye. Citizens requests?
No requested.
Okay. Managers report?
Okay. First thing to report is that the municipal audit for the 22-23 fiscal year was completed last week on September 7th. No issues were described to me, so I anticipate that we'll start working on the final adjustments and the reports will be available sometime in mid-October. And let's see, I contacted John Milligan regarding the Knapp Cemetery bamboo removal, and the cost for that project is estimated to be $21,040. So obviously I wasn't able to move forward with that. The biggest thing he talked about is the price of loom right now is just really, really expensive. So obviously we can't move forward with the funding that we have in place with the budget. So my only suggestion is that we try to start planning for it during the budgetary processes, and maybe in the 2 or 3 timeline, we can get the upgrade done. The only other option would be asking the voters next year if we could remove the funds from the undesignated fund balance, which is something we can kind of discuss as we work through the budget. Prior removals from that fund included, we did the reconstruction of Carter Woods roadway, the building of the salt and sand shed, and we've done a few transfers throughout the years to help with the budget and the loss of, if we had any loss of revenues. So that's the story on the bamboo.
Somebody was down there the other day cutting some of the bamboo back.
Well, I had hired, every year I hire Zach Carlo to cut the bamboo back and then ship it. And I was hoping to get completely removed over it, completely have it gone so we could mow over it. So he was just finishing up that project that he started earlier.
Did a good job though.
Yeah. I just want it to be gone.
And if you tilled it, would you still need to put more loam in if you tilled it and took all the root
I
structures
don't
out?
know, and I'm just worried about graves, I don't.
If he's talking about putting more loam in, is it going to put on top or what do you?
I don't really know. He went down with me and looked at it, and he talked about removing the top part of the soil
Yep.
and then
You
adding.
till the top part,
Yeah.
take the root structure and then,
I can talk to him about it, but that's the price that he gave me for the work that he went down.
sounds like he didn't really want to do it.
No, I think he did want to do it. It's just, I think he just said the cost is just so high.
Are there any other estimates you might be able to get?
I can definitely ask from different contractors for sure. We're running out of time, but it's definitely on my radar because I really do want to remove that. Anything else? Okay,
How big of an area was it down there? Did he-
it's like 10 feet deep by, I don't know, 100 feet wide.
Okay, so pretty significant.
Yeah. Okay, and then, I need to have the town council approval for me to act as a voting delegate at the Maine Municipal Association annual meeting on October 4th. Mark has the paperwork in front of him for the town council signature, but every year Maine Municipal has a business meeting in which we vote on any bylaws amendments or any budgetary issues, and I will be attending the convention, so would act as the delegate.
You need an emotion.
Yes, a motion and a signature.
So move.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to allow Melissa to be the voting delegate or give her voting delegate credentials. Any other questions or comments on that? If not, we'll vote. Jim. Dwayne, Charlie. Larry. Marks and I.
And so that paperwork is in front of you, or? You have it? Okay, perfect. My term on the municipal review committee ends in December. So I have placed my name in for nominations to hopefully continue my work on that committee. Just wanted to let you know the ballots will be available soon in November, with final votes being done in December.
Anything you need from us?
I don't believe so.
Nomination?
No. The RSU 34 facilities advisory group met yesterday. Over the summer, the RSU 34 has done some work to retaining wall and Victory Field. They've done some doors replacement at Viola Rand School to make it more ADA compliant and provide better safety. Cameras have been installed in all schools, and improvements have been done on several playgrounds. There was some discussion about the playing fields, baseball, softball, soccer fields in the Old Town area. They were hoped previously to work with the Old Town YMCA on a field expansion behind the YMCA and by the Old Town Elementary, but that doesn't seem to be happening. The administration will be searching for grant funds to do improvements, and they did even ask about our Bradley baseball, softball field, which is on Broad Street and hasn't been used since 1985. But
Did you say they did ask?
they did ask about it. Each year I have it bush hogged just to try to maintain the openness of the field. When they did the removal of the Great Brook stand, that was their laydown area, and they buried a lot of the timbers and the rocks from the dam in that field. So it's really unknown what's in there. But I said that I thought that the town council and Bradley residents would support any development of that for a recreational area, especially if it came from grant funds. So hopefully they'll add that to their list. Another thing they talked about was they are doing some energy upgrades, hoping to use the building infrastructure management solutions funding. Apparently different companies that offer energy efficiency funds these projects after doing energy audits, and the money that they save for the energy pays for the cost of the updates. For example, they said that the windows at the middle school, or the middle school are original to the building. So they're obviously not very efficient. The insulation in the high school is an R19 and it should be an R34. So just different upgrades that they're gonna be looking to do. And then finally, they talked about enrollment, and the total enrollment for the RSU is 1,415. And last year at this time, it was 1,408. 1,408, so there's been a little bit of increase. Just an update on that. I provided you earlier last week some general assistance maximums. Each year we have to have a public hearing to approve the general assistance maximums that are actually supplied to us by the state, but the municipal officers still have to hold a public hearing and approve. So I've set that for the next meeting at 6:30. And as we know in the past, we open a public hearing, ask the public comment, if there's none, then we move forward. Just wanted to also let you know that I'll be out of the office Thursday, Friday, and Tuesday. Thursday and Friday of this week and Tuesday of next week. This week I'm in Solon for the Maine Municipal Association annual retreat. The president of Maine Municipal Association lives in Solon. Each year, MMA goes to the president's town and does the retreat. So in 2 years, they'll be coming to Bradley, which will be interesting. Because I don't know where people are gonna stay, but that's not.
Right.
And then on Tuesday, I have a Maine Municipal Health Trust meeting. So just wanted to let you know, if you didn't see me here, I'm not on vacation, I actually am working. Tomorrow, at 3:30, I will be going to the court to, with our attorney, John Hammer, regarding the 114 Cram Street, land use violation. This is the first appearance, so this allows Mr. Wing to either contest the violation or to settle and make an agreement. The agreement that we have drafted includes that all of these signs from his property will be removed except for one size, which is 4 square feet. We can't do anything about the signage on his home or his camper or even his car, but we can do something about freestanding signs, which there's abundance of. We're asking in our settlement that Mr. Wing be liable and responsible to make monthly payments. Unfortunately, the attorney seems to think that the court will set what the monthly payments are. I asked for an amount no less than about $100 a month, but he said that the court will decide that. And the total amount due will be the attorney fees and the cost of the dumpster, in which we used at the beginning of the year. And the agreement also includes that if the sign removal is not complete, the town can move forward with the removal and add them to the cost. And then also assess further fines for land use violation fines, because by law, we're allowed to charge $100 per day per violation. And right now, we're not charging that if he agrees to pay the attorney fees and the dumpster and makes monthly payments. But if he doesn't remove the sign and he doesn't stay in compliance, then we have the ability through that agreement to assess more fines for him to pay. So that's that on the land use violation, which is the abundance of signage, because by our ordinance, we're only allowed to have one sign without a permit, which is 4 square feet.
So quick question on the sign, like you said, we can't do anything if something is painted on the house, on the car, on the camper, but if he has something tacked to the car, to the house, to the camper, is that still considered something that is?
It's the freestanding signs is what we have the authority from. And there are several, but I don't think ones that are attached to the home are in our authority to ask for them. In regards to his non-functioning septic system, Mr. Wing was sent a letter by our LPI last week, and he signed for it last Tuesday. So he technically has until Thursday or Friday to contact the LPI and allow for inspection. Probably not going to happen. If this isn't done, it's up to the town council on how we'll move forward. Our code enforcement officer, Dean Bennett, has suggested that the town talk to other legal counsel. His fear is that Mr. Hammer has been involved with this case for a very long time and has kind of gotten worn out by the case, as I can totally understand. And so he just Gene wanted me to bring it to the council that maybe you consider talking to other legal representation regarding the contamination inhabitable case that we've talked about in the past. His suggestion is somebody from Eaton and Peabody. He's been working with somebody from Eaton and Peabody in the town of Warrington. He's a code enforcement officer in the town of Warrington as well.
Well, I guess the only comment I would make is that if I've been disturbed with Hammer, it's been, I think his reluctance to move potential orders before the court. It seems like when we suggest maybe that a court order might be in order, he comes up with a different solution.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that in order for this whole thing to be resolved ultimately, one day down the road, it has to be because, like the Penobscot County Sheriffs, the court have simply gotten tired of dealing with it. And the way to make the courts tired of dealing with it is by an abundance of court orders. They may not approve those court orders,
Mm-hmm.
but it's going to take court time to listen. And I think if Mr. Hammer has been remiss, it's been in that area. We've simply got to get this thing resolved. I had a report last week, and Melissa, I know that you witnessed it, maybe with a camera, of him dumping human feces out in the town's right of way by the roadside. And it didn't take long for that word to get to me. People are incensed about that,
Mhm,
and they're just not in a mind to leave that alone,
mhm,
and I don't blame them.
mhm.
I was kind of dismayed that the sheriff didn't do it. I thought for sure that they at least go out there
Yeah,
and speak to them.
for whatever reason, I think Penobscot County has gotten tired of it, or they've got bigger fish to fry. I don't know what the reason is, but I think they could be helping in some of these situations. And in some of the situations, I don't think they're getting reports either, really.
Mhm.
We've told people, you know, contact the sheriff's office, but I'm not convinced that that happens.
Mhm.
So that's my 2 cents.
My comments are twofold. One is, there seems to be, is there an assumption here that Mr. Hammer is kind of exhausted with this case? Should we have a conversation, or should you have a conversation with him about the challenges, whether or not he feels that he is kind of thinks, if he does think that new legal representation is warranted at this point? That would be kind of my thought there.
Mhm.
And secondly, if we did go with different legal counsel, how long would it be before that new legal counsel will be caught up to speed and, you know, and how far back would we be in the process?
I think that that is a great, like, I plan on having a conversation with John tomorrow. I'm gonna be paying him to sit beside me for an hour anyway, so he called me today and I said, I'll talk to you tomorrow, because we're gonna be paying you anyway, so.
Yeah.
I'll just talk to you tomorrow. And one of the conversations I plan on having was, you know, there's been some discussion about perhaps we need new counsel, because you kind of exhausted everything, maybe we need a new perspective on this and see what the outcome is in that.
Mhm.
As secondly, I have had a conversation with Eaton Peabody. Dean had mentioned to Andrew Hamilton that the town was maybe thinking about different representation, and Andrew's secretary called me and I said, I'm not ready to talk to you because I haven't talked to my town council yet. So I think that they'd be pretty quick to respond. I was hoping that John Hammer could talk to you tonight over Zoom, because I think that that would help everybody.
Mhm.
But he was already booked. So in preparation of the next meeting and kind of seeing what happens tomorrow and what happens with the LPI, maybe I can set up a conversation with the board, with Mr. Hammer and Eaton Peabody. 2 different conversations, obviously, but have them scheduled.
How can you have a prior Zoom commitment? It seems like at this time of the evening.
I don't know, today I talked to him, he was
It
on the
seems
phone.
like that's
Yeah.
a lame excuse.
Well, I don't know what he's doing, but he is a municipal attorney, so maybe he's attending another municipal meeting, but I totally understand.
The squeaky wheel gets the grease. And I don't know that we're being squeaky enough.
Yeah. I'm just very cautious of spending the town's money too. I hate calling an attorney, you know, all the time. I hate that cost, because it could go to something that would benefit the whole town, not just this one cause. So, you know, that could be my fault too, but I was hopeful that when the septic system notice came that he wrote and said that the septic system was failing, that John Hammer was gonna help us come through and condemn the property. And instead, he flipped it over to the LPI, saying, well, we need to go through this course first. And then you read the laws after the LPI does his stuff, it comes back to the town council. So it's like,
So, when I heard about, the actions, of that resident, and what he did, is there a different avenue different departments, the state of Maine, like the DEP or someone else that we could reach out to and saying, hey, what do we do in these kind of situations?
Yeah.
What's the proper way of going about this? So at least it gives other departments understanding of what town's going through.
Mhm. I have personally contacted Department of Human Services several times asking for them to come and help. And they refuse because he won't follow the rules, he won't follow the procedure, and then their names end up on, then he harasses them. So they've just completely written them off. Dean and I had a discussion today about like DEP and Department of Health. And it all comes back to Department of Human Services. Those are all under that umbrella. So we're just not really sure if we're gonna get heard. But that's one of the conversations I plan on talking to John about too. Is there another department? I don't know.
Maybe it would be worth getting just another legal opinion, right? Just a different perspective, like we're
Right.
talking about.
Right. I think it would,
Yeah,
and then if anything, we figure out that Mr. Hammer's right, and then we proceed and whatever, but I just feel like I'm just going around in circles with this situation.
I don't think it'd be very difficult for a new attorney to be brought up to speed, considering all of the documentation that you already have. You could do a yearly summary. This is what happened 10 years ago, 8 years ago,
Yeah.
and they'd be up to speed. If they want to investigate it more, the folks are there to look at it.
Mhm.
I don't think it would take that long. Depends on how much they want to charge.
Yeah, that was going through my mind.
Yeah.
We used DEP on the road to do some rewrite of our bylaws, et cetera.
Mhm.
Very expensive,
Mhm.
like $400 an hour.
Yeah.
I think they charge by the minute, it seems. Crazy expensive, but we didn't find, and of course, it could have just been that attorney that we worked with. It was more the issue than the agency, but they were expensive, and the turnaround was, we had to keep pushing,
Really.
yeah. So it depends who you get.
I think the solution, would be easier if we had our own law enforcement department.
yeah.
And I think that's what's happening in other towns. Because the sheriff's department is dealing with a whole county. And they're not gonna come over here every time. We have a complaint. Cause it's the same, it's a frequent flyer complaint, it's the same thing.
What's more difficult to understand, I think, is the fact that the DEP or Department of Human Services, somebody doesn't understand the hazard that's out there for health on that road. I did a little bit of research, not that I really enjoyed it, but when you start dealing with human waste, laying out under the sun, under the weather, under the rain, that's a biohazard. And it makes people sick. And why the Department of Health and Human Services or the DEP or somebody doesn't have an interest in that, that blows me away.
Yeah. When I had a doctor's appointment this morning, when I left, Dean was making some calls to the health part. I didn't get a chance to communicate him, but he did not leave me anything. I will follow up with him to see what he found out. Yeah, I don't know if he plans on going tomorrow or not. I didn't really see the necessity for him to go, but I can definitely follow up to see what he found out. There's no reason for that to be out there, because he can dispose of that in his trash. He's just being a jerk.
That's right. He's trying to make people sick.
Right, he's a nuisance. He's an absolute nuisance.
And it's right there. I mean, you don't have to look hard to see it. It's laying there on the ground. It's pathetic. It really is.
So plan going forward, I'll have a conversation with John tomorrow about if possible, new legal counsel would be recommended to give us a different insight. Contact Eaton Peabody and see if I can get a meeting scheduled with them, and maybe a meeting scheduled with Hammer, so you can have a conversation with them next week, or next meeting.
Good.
It is.
That's all I have for my manager's report.
Any other questions or comments on the manager's report? Good luck tomorrow. Let us know how it goes.
Yes, I'll send you all an email after I get done. I'll be going to I'm supposed to be in Solon at 5, so after I do dinner and stuff, I'll send you all an email, let you know how it went.
I'm gonna be in Brewer tomorrow afternoon early. I may show up there.
Yeah,
We'll jump down to new business. Any new business from you, Missy?
I do not have any new business.
Any new business from the council? If not, we'll jump down to unfinished business. Unfinished business from you, Missy?
Well, at the last meeting, I had given you a couple of policies for your review. Didn't know if you had an opportunity to look at those, and if you did, would you consider making a motion to accept them as written, or do you have some changes you want to make?
Hey, I take a look at them on the policy for Town of Bradley Safety Committee. Under the Safety Committee paragraph, it says, maybe the third sentence down. Where is it here? Therefore, recognizing the need to achieve and maintain a safe, helpful workplace and the safety of human life and property, it will be the town manager's responsibility to annually review, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
All safety policies. And then I had one question about the wellness program
Yeah.
policy as well. So under services and resources, that section, it talks about employees are encouraged to step away from the work area. Employees are encouraged to step outside, walk around the parking lot, fire station, parking lot, and driveways daily. Is that necessary that we would want to put that sort of direction in there? Like,
I didn't know what else to say, because
Yeah.
they wanted me to say something that we encourage exercise.
okay,
I've seen those programs too, and it's about getting, when it's an office position, they want you to have some kind of plan where people get outside or do exercise of some sort.
okay. That's the only a couple of questions that I had on, the policy that you presented. Other than that, I mean, they look good to me.
So if town council would like to make a motion to approve of those changes. We're on the,
We're talking the safety committee, the return to work policy, the wellness program.
yes, so the safety committee is a policy. Return to work is a policy. Wellness program is a policy, and then the use of preferred providers, we added that to our personnel policy.
Right. We already did that though.
We have not done that,
And,
no.
okay, so if your notes are going to be encompassing all of those things, I'll make a motion that we approve those at this time.
I second that.
Motions are made and seconded about the changes to the programs and policies. Any other questions or additions? If not, we'll vote. Jim?
Aye.
Dwayne?
Aye.
Charlie?
Aye.
Larry?
Aye.
Mark's and I.
And that's all I have for business, old business.
Any other unfinished business from the council? Okay, I'll make a motion to accept the municipal warrants as they were presented this evening.
Seconded.
Motion been made and seconded about the warrants. Any questions on those? If not, we'll vote. Jim? Aye. Dwayne? Aye. Charlie?
Aye.
Larry?
Aye.
Mark's and I. Anything from the live session that we need to?
I'm gonna go grab your phone. No, I have Kelly Gifford says that I've witnessed him dumping his seaweed.
Okay. The next meeting is set for September 26th. If you cannot make it, please let the other counselors in the town office know. I actually know that I'll be out of town that day, so I will not be
Okay.
here, and I most likely won't be able to live stream. I'll try if I can, but.
I will be one day into a new knee,
Oh, wow.
so I will try to live stream in. If I'm not slurring my words from repetition.
Should we wait to talk to the attorneys then? Until the next meeting? Or schedule a special meeting to talk to them?
I think we all should be.
I think we all should be present.
Okay.
What if we were to do a special meeting?
Yeah, we can do a special meeting.
Yeah, I would,
I will send out a doodle poll and get a couple dates from the attorneys and bring them to you, and then we can set up. I need 7 days a notice, so I'll do the dates accordingly. But we could do a special meeting any night, or it doesn't have to be a
My
Tuesday.
third is the 25th, so happen before that, be good.
The 25th?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna have 7 days to do a posting. We do it the 25th. I've said, I could post it 7 days before. So it would. like
There's a
from-
problem.
Yeah, so today is the 12th, and I do the 25th, it would actually need to be posted for the,
By the 18th.
by the 18th, and I'm away all week.
Well, maybe the week after then.
Yeah.
The week after that meeting.
Yeah, maybe.
I could zoom, but.
You could Zoom, exactly, yeah, and whoever, we could all Zoom. We could all Zoom, because it will be an executive session anyways. So we could all do that. We would just come into live session to open a meeting, do a motion to go into executive session to talk to legal counsel. We'd shut down the live stream, but then we would still keep the Zoom open. So we wouldn't even need to come, you wouldn't even need to come here. Charlotte, you can do broadband on.
I think we can do it.
I'm assuming, Jim, you have sufficient
I haven't.
Internet.
Yet.
on the
Oh, yeah.
Bradley side,
Internet.
but yeah.
as long as
perfect.
it's Zoom and not Facebook, I can do that.
Yep, yep, we could do that. Okay.
So you'll set up some
Yeah, I'll give
potential
us
data stuff.
some days, yeah.
So if anybody else can't make that September 26th meeting with me out of town and Larry possibly out of service, please let us know, because we'll have to cancel. Right?
Yeah.
Last thing is a motion to adjourn. And seconded. And I meant,
Is your thing?
Indeed, this person,
oh, no, is it local?
at the Downey Surgery Center.
Yeah.
This is the first one, Larry?
This will be the second one. I'm gonna get matching knees again. I haven't spent 10 years without matching.
Yeah.